just start the recording and then I'll just welcome everyone.
Yep, it should just be starting soon. That should record now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd just like to welcome you to this meeting of the Planning Applications Committee today. We've received apologies today from the Chair and Vice Chair, so prior to the meeting starting, can we please nominate a Chair amongst ourselves?
Stuart.
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 Are you happy to chair the meeting, Councillor Miller?
Well, it looks kind of unanimous.
If I can hand over to yourself then to start the meeting.
All I can say is thanks, guys.
You're more than welcome.
Well, can I extend the welcome to everybody today to this Planning Applications Committee meeting. And attending today, we have Councillors Andrew Conbury, Jim Swift and Jim McLean. In attendance, we have Sharon McIntyre as the clerk to committee, Graham Shanklin, Derek Scott, Alan Pepler, the planning department, and Leona Allison with internet support. We have apologies from, as intimated earlier, from Councillors Annette Ireland, Betty Cunningham and Provost Jim Fletcher. I think that's the most of the interesting stuff passed. Now, do we have any declarations of interest? No. Well, the first and only item of business we've got is the notice of review. Sorry, we're not. It's the Eaglesham Hub, the Eaglesham. Got the wrong one. Yeah, the open application, the installation of broadband cabinet opposite 1 and 1A Pulmoon Street in Eaglesham. I think I will open it out to councillors to speak, and I would imagine Councillor McLean will want to speak first.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Do you know that we've had discussions on this before these cabinets, but this is obviously retrospective. The cabinet is in place now. We've had discussions before they even put these cabinets in to try and get them moved up 10 yards to the old bus stop, which they said they could do, but they went ahead and put it in a place it was anyway. And we've had discussions with them before that, and they says if they were to move it now, it would mean problems to the broadband services in the village. I mean, I'm totally against where they are, absolutely against it. But I think we're now in a position that there's not a lot we can do about it. We're kind of being held to ransom on this. That they're in place. They're saying if they had to move them, then it would take months, maybe another year to change everything, get it in place and everything else. I think, personally speaking, I know we would probably get more hassle from the village if we had to change it and people lose their broadband. So from my point of view, I think we just bite the bullet and take this as it is, because, as I say, it's going to cause more good than harm. More harm than good, sorry, if we reject this. So that's kind of my stance on it.
And you'd get all the hassle from the locals? Well,
do you know, I'm getting it either way, Stuart, because, you know, people are not happy where they've been placed, and I've been getting it since day one, since they put it there. But it's going to affect a lot more people. I think there was 8 or 9 objections to this. But I thought that people were either going to lose their broadband, there would be a lot more.
Thank you, Jim. Angela.
Thanks very much, Stuart. So I can't believe this is back in front of us again. I've actually lost count how many times this has actually been in front of us. So see the site, the original site where they should have been, do they have a box there already?
There's 3 boxes there at the moment.
And do they belong to them?
Yes.
Have they got in? Right. So my question is, so they're now saying that they can't move that box to the place it should have been in the first place because there's someone else's cable is stopping them from using the original site.
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying. I mean, oh, come on. Do you know what I mean? They've got boxes there already. You try to tell me they didn't know that the cables were there. They're just clutching at straws now.
Absolutely, but they're kind of holding us to ransom in the whole thing, Angela. That's the problem.
As you said, Jim, and yet again, we're being threatened.
Yeah.
Eaglesham's broadband. being affected.
Absolutely.
We're letting these people hold us to ransom.
Yeah.
I just think they feel that if they keep bombarding us with appeals, then we're going to do just like you want to do, Jim, and give in to them.
Totally
Do you know what I
agree.
mean? But then I totally understand where you're coming from as well, because you must be getting fed up getting bombarded with them.
Yeah.
But I just don't think we should be letting them away with this. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous, and I'm sick of having it in front of us.
Yeah, totally agree.
Thanks, I don't think there's an awful lot we can do about it. Before I bring Councillor Swift in, Graham, I saw you have your hand up.
Thank you. Yes, I was just, if you want, the applicants have submitted a couple of photographs, one that includes a photograph. They did go in, my understanding is they did go in to put the cabinet in the location that it was approved for, but when they opened up the ground, they found that there were cables there. Now, I was just going to try to bring up the photograph.
Who'd have thought it was cables next to those boxes?
Now
Yeah.
that has opened up there. That photograph shows where the box is at the moment and where it was meant to go, which was just next to it. But when they opened up that location, they found cables underneath. Now, I do have a photograph of that. If you bear with me, I'll see if I can find that on the screen here. It's not always very easy just to find the right. It's not the right ones. I don't know, for some reason that photograph isn't coming up in my list of options here. Do you want to take Councillor Swift's question while I search for this photograph? It's up on my screen. I'm just not getting to share it at the moment.
Right, thanks, Graham. Jim.
Thanks, Chair. All I wanted to understand was if we could validate if they had actually got a cable under there. I mean, given that they've kind of messed us around, it might not be inconceivable they accidentally didn't find a cable or something like that. Not that I would be accusing them of any form of misleading us, but I would like some validation that there are cables under there and they are live cables of some description.
As Angela said, what cables next to a box? Who'd have thunk it?
No, but there was a box there. They put in 3 boxes at first and they've taken one away.
But do we know if it's a live cable?
Now, sorry to interrupt. Are you seeing a photograph on screen just now?
You can see a photo of a hole.
That's a photograph. Yes, that's a photograph that they took when they were going to install the box in the location. That's, I think, at the left bottom, sort of left-hand side is the existing box where it is, and they have taken a photograph of the ground opened up with cables, which they tell us are electricity cables, and they can't disturb those. So that's the information we're getting, and in my view, we sort of have to take them at their word that that is the correct site and that those are electricity cables. That's certainly what they're telling us.
Can I just add something to that, Graham? Just while you're, if you're saying the bottom left of that picture is the box,
yes,
then these cables are running straight through that box live. So how have they managed to put a box in there at the bottom left? That's another box when they haven't. If these, that's the direction these cables are going.
Exactly.
It does sort of look as if the cables are a bit coming in through at an angle. So they're cutting across from a sort of wider aspect to a shallower aspect next to the box.
Yeah, but
I guess that the existing box just missed the cables.
No, that's not the size of the foundation. The box is not the size of the foundation. I've got pictures of all this. There's actually quite a big foundation below these boxes. So that box would have to come way out. That box is not the foundation. mean, that's the, you see the size of the hole they've cut open to put that there. That's virtually the size, only back a bit as well. But just to put it into perspective here, see when you showed the original picture there was a picture of the box on the right and the box on the left. That box on the right that's not the original place.
Yes.
The box on the left.
I know that.
The box on the left was where that first box should have went, but they put it there. If you check it, the original planning applications is that's where the box went to be, and they stuck it right at the entrance to the ORI. And as Angela says, they've been doing this since day one, and they're now kind of holding us to ransom because now we're stuck with it. We can't really do anything about it, and it's infuriating. You know, they're basically. I actually spoke to them. And the engineer out at the time said, there's an old bus stop 10 yards up. And he said, yes, we can move it up there, no problem. And then when I spoke to the project manager, he says, no, we've just stuck it in there because we've got to adhere to the planning permission. But that box on the right was originally over where that existing DSL cabinet was. That's where that was meant to go originally. And they put it there, that existing PC.
Before you come back in again, Graham, the thing I noticed about these electric cables, now if they're main live electric cables, I would have thought something like that would have been in a conduit. You would not
much deeper as well.
Live electric cables just lying in below the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something wrong with that photograph that they've taken.
Yep.
I don't think it's right. The trouble is, I mean, unless Derek or Alan, do you want to come in to say anything at all?
I think, as Graham said, we generally take in good faith advice that we're given by applicants and their agents. So when they tell us something, we tend to generally have to accept that as being the truth.
Graham, your hand's still up.
Sorry, I'll put my hand down. That's just still up from last time.
That's there.
But see where that existing DSLAM cabinet is. They actually put another foundation to the left hand, as we're looking at it, to the left hand side of it, and they put a box there, which they didn't have planning permission for. So the foundation is still there, but they were told to take it away. That was at one of the last meetings, well, not the last one, a couple back, because there's been so many meetings about this. I mean, if you look at that picture there, you see the path. There was actually another box to the right of that, which they put in. They didn't have any planning permission for, which has now been taken away because it was only a temporary one. But they're just sticking them up wherever they like. They don't care. Because now they're threatening us with, well, you know, if we have to change this, it's going to, you know, the broadband will fall out, people will complain. And, you know, we're kind of stuck with it now. I don't know what we can do about it, but they just don't care about it. We had a meeting before about this, I think. Was Stuart, were you there or Jim there?
I think, yeah, no, I was there. I think Angela was there as well.
Yeah, and it was just, you know, and it was, there just seems to be nothing we can do about this. They'll just put it wherever they want and just take, because they know they've got us over a barrel.
Is there a way that we can write to them and say, look, you know, expressing our displeasure at this, and that if they come up with some application the next time, it has not to be retrospective. It has to be a prior application. Or
We
we're
did
not.
that the last time, Stuart. That's why they took that box away.
I know that's not to stop us trying it again, to try and get them to do the proper thing.
I know. But it's just, you know, they don't care. They just put it with the light because they know people want their broadband. They know they want the fast broadband, so they're getting away with it.
Right, to bring it, anybody else want to come in with anything? Right, to bring this to conclusion.
Is there any point, Stuart? Is there any point?
To bring this to conclusion, it's a retrospective application, but there's really not much. There's nothing we can do about it other than send Openreach a letter expressing our displeasure about this. So are you all in agreement with that?
No,
Yeah,
I don't agree with. No, I don't want it to be unanimous. I don't want something to go to them and say that it was passed unanimously, because I don't think that's right. You know what I mean? But me refusing it is not going to make any difference. But I think
you're absolutely right. I would love to refuse it, but I know the problems it's going to create for people within the village if they do have to take that away, and the problems it'll cause to people's broadband. I absolutely agree with you, but you know, and I would love to reject it, but I can't because I know the problems it's going to cause. Well,
So you're quite happy
sorry,
for,
just one further point. Sorry about this. I'm only assuming that's what's going to happen because they've told us that's what's going to happen. I don't know if that's factual or not. They've told us that's what will happen. Now, you know, he says that we're taking them at face value at it, but we're looking at the pictures and I don't really agree with them that much. But again, have we got to take them at face value?
again, as Derek says, when the applicant comes out with something, unless you can prove otherwise, we've got to take them as they're telling the truth.
Yep, I know. It's just annoying. That's all.
Been very forthright before, haven't they?
Aye, right enough, Angela.
Okay, to bring this to a conclusion, do we have any other option other than to grant this retrospective application? No.
I don't see it. I don't see it, but
God's over a barrel.
I think they have. Yeah, I think if we do send them a letter, we need to try and be forceful that they cannot just do this. But whether that makes any difference or no, I've got no idea.
Can that be done, Graham?
Yeah, I'm certainly happy to send a strongly worded letter expressing your displeasure at how it has come about, and to stress to them that they need to be sure to follow the correct procedures in future.
Because since day one, this has been a complete and utter mess with the planning application that they've submitted, not any the planners have done, that they've done. They have lied and they have given false information. I actually contacted BT Openreach about it. And they said, well, it's up to the people we employ to do this. It's not really up to us. So everybody washes their hands off.
Subcontractors.
Yeah,
How many times have they done this before? Do you know what I mean? You can be guaranteed we'll know the first time.
No, absolutely. Well, it was the one they did.
And I don't mean just us. Do you know what I mean? It's obviously par for the course for them.
Did they not? Someone not doing Barhead in front of somebody's window?
Yep. Yeah, they've just put one up.
Just, you know, they just do that.
No.
So, anyway, I don't see we have a choice. But,
sorry to come in and interrupt. Mr. McLean, you just made a statement there about the applicant lying.
Well,
need to be very careful with what we say. Maybe just want to reconsider
well, to be fair, I've got emails in which they have lied to me. So it's been either lying or false information. I've got emails from them of which they have lied, and I still have them.
And that can be proven.
Yeah, the email is there when they said they had to put it in that position. The very first box that we saw there, they had to put it in that position due to planning permission, but that wasn't the place where it was in the planning application. And I've got that in email.
Okay,
that's fine. Fair enough.
There's nothing more to discuss as far as that's concerned, but there is one small item that I'm going to add to the agenda, and that is the fact that this is Graham Shanklin's last meeting due to retire. On behalf of us all, and I've probably worked with Graham more than most, and it's and the folk that's here, other than Eamon, right enough, because he's older and looks at can I wish Graham a very long and happy retirement?
Here.
Yep, here. Totally agree.
All the best, Graham.
All the best, Graham. On the golf course.
Thank you, councillors. I would like to say it's been a pleasure.
But you're not going to.
It has been a pleasure, folks.
Right, thanks very much for attendance. Hopeful most of us, in fact, three of us will meet again in 10 minutes.
Okay, have fun now. Can't make it there, but
thanks very much.
Right, thank you.
guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.